What's up guys, it's Legend X Rona, and today I have another possible variation video for you guys. In today's video I'll be covering possible variations that Frost could have if she's in the Kombat Pack 2 for Mortal Kombat X. Now Frost is one of the many characters who had a cameo in Mortal Kombat X, and she's also one of the many female characters who's being requested to be in the Kombat Pack 2 for Mortal Kombat X. Now to me personally, I've always liked Frost and felt like she never got enough attention in the past. Being the student of Sub-Zero, you would think that you'd see her more in some of the Mortal Kombat games, but she was only playable in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and I think in Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition on the Game Boy, which kinda sucks for her. Like, some people tend to say that she's too much of a copy of Sub-Zero because she uses ice moves, which I don't understand why they would think that. Like, seriously, she's a student of Sub-Zero, so possibly most likely she would be using ice moves. And then there's like 10 characters in Mortal Kombat that use fire moves, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But with all the cameos Frost has in Mortal Kombat X from the game and in the comics, I'm certain that we will see her playable again. With that being said, here are the variations that I think Frost could have if she was playable in Mortal Kombat X. Alright, so here are the variations that I came up with. The first variation we have is her Lin Kuei Variation, where she gains Lin Kuei inspired moves and additional combos utilizing her ice daggers. Her second variation is her Mist Variation, where she gains counters, parries, and additional moves based on missed abilities. And then her third variation is her Artic Variation, where she gains additional ice moves. Now for her standard moves, I gave her some of her old moves that she had in the past. Like, the first move that we have is her Ground Freeze, then we have her Frosty Slide, her Teleporting Uppercut, and her Ice Portal. These are all moves that she had previously in Deadly Alliance and Armageddon. These last two moves, Ice Shower and Ice Parry, well, Ice Shower came from Sub-Zero back in Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I thought this would be a pretty cool move to give her, and then Ice Parry actually came from Cyber Sub-Zero, which I thought would be a pretty cool move also to give her, considering that Frost was supposed to be like a quicker version of Sub-Zero, so it'd be kind of cool to have her be able to parry things on the spot and actually have that as a move for her standard moves. Alright, so let's get started with her first variation, her Lin Kuei Variation. Alright, in this variation she gains Lin Kuei inspired moves and additional combos utilizing her ice daggers. Now, I know Sub-Zero does use ice daggers in Mortal Kombat X, but if you're not remembering, these are originally something that Frost had. Like, she originally had the ice dagger, so I thought it would be cool to give her ice daggers back. Now, Sub-Zero only uses it in one combo, but she could use it for multiple combos. Now for an appearance for this variation, I said like the line of her mask would glow brighter. I really couldn't think of nothing much, so that's pretty much all I had for this one. Alright, so the moves for this variation, she gains additional moves utilizing her Ice Knives. The first move we have is her Ice Parry becomes Snow Clone, which is a counter. When attacked, Frost forms a clone made of snow as a decoy and reappears behind the opponent, stabbing them in the back with her Ice Knives and then kicking them. The next move we have, she gains Ice Shard, where she shoots out an ice shard that damages the opponent on contact and can be shot upward or downward. The EX version of it is Freezing Shard, where the ice shard freezes things on contacts. It can freeze the ground, causing a temporary ice puddle. So basically, when she does the EX version of this move, and say she shoots it at an opponent, it will freeze them. But say if she decided to shoot it downward, she could freeze the ground, creating an ice puddle where the opponent can slip on it. Alright, also with this move, we have the Air Ice Shard, where she can shoot the Ice Shard while she's in the air. Alright, so the final move for this variation, I gave her Ice Shuriken, where she throw out 2 Ice Shurikens. In the EX version, she throws multiple Shurikens at the opponent. Now basically, with Frost being ninja, I thought I would give her like some kind of ninja move. Like, basically she's a Chiromancer just like Sub-Zero, so she can create different weapons. But the thing with Frost is she can't make big weapons, kind of like how Sub-Zero can. So I was trying to think of like smaller things that she can make, like possibly projectiles. So I did decide to give her something like Shurikens. Alright, so moving on to her next variation, we have her Mist Variation. Alright, in this variation she gains counters, parries, and additional moves based on missed abilities. For appearance for this variation, basically her mask can be removed and has white eyes and mist shrouds her. Basically just like the picture in this background of Frost when she was in the Mortal Kombat X comics. Alright, so the moves of this variation: first, Ice Parry becomes Miss Phase, which is a parry. Also, Frost counters the attack by shouting herself in miss and appearing above the opponent coming down on them. Alright, the next move we have is Mystic Chill, where Miss shrouds her as she gains a speed boost in her attack. So basically, kind of like how she looks in this background, how part of the miss is shrouding her, this is how she would look, and then she'll gain a speed boost in her attacks. The next move we have is Ice Shroud, where she disperses a mist towards the opponent, causing them to be stunned. And then the EX version of it is Freezing Shroud, where it moves quicker in its armor and it freezes the opponent on contact. The final move I have for this variation is Vanishing Mist, is a counter move. Basically, she forms a mist around herself, and when the opponent attacks her, they disappear and then reappear somewhere else on the screens. So basically, the idea I have for this move is, like, if you hold back or you hold forward, this is going to determine where the opponent reappears, kind of like Noob Saibot's portal move in previous games. Alright, moving on to her final variation, we have her Artic variation. In this variation, she gains Snowball and additional ice moves. For an appearance for this variation, I said her hair is blue and her forearms are covered by ice. So basically, in the Mortal Kombat X comics, towards the end when she meets Sub-Zero, her hair is blue, so I thought it would be kind of cool for her to have as an appearance in this variation. For her moves for this variation, first, Ice Shower becomes Hell Drop. Basically, it drops a chunk of ice on the opponent, knocking them down on contact. This is kind of like Tremor's one move where he raises the rock from the ground and it falls on the opponent's head, knocking them down. I think it's called a rock drop or something like that. Alright, the next move we have is Snowball, where she raises a wall of snow either close, mid, or far, but it cancels on hit. I thought this move would be kind of cool to have. Basically, like, say the opponent is close to you, you can raise a wall mid-distance, and they're going to either back into it or have to jump over it. So basically, you can put like some pressure on the opponent. And also, say like if the opponent was zoning you out, you can basically raise a wall close distance where you can block all the moves for a temporary time. Alright, the next move we have is Ice Spikes, where she smashes the ground and sends out a wave of ice across the ground, doing damage on contact. The EX version of it is Ice Wave, where it's faster and it deals more damage. Next is Icy Wind, where she creates a gust of freezing air flowing to the opponent, doing damage on contact. And the EX version of it is Freezing Wind, where it freezes the opponent on contact. Her final move for this variation is Snow Bomb. Basically, she throws out a ball of ice that explodes on contact with either the opponent or the ground. EX version of it is Artic Blast, where the blast is bigger and it does more damage. Alright, so these are the variations I came up with for Frost. I did have further ideas for her, but I couldn't think of ways to make some of them work, and I didn't want to give her too many moves. So what do you guys think about the variations I came up with? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Also, feel free to let me know your ideas on what you might have for her as variations. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like. Also, quick shout out to @XXSleepingForest on Twitter. He's a huge fan of Frost, and also he's a YouTuber, so please be sure to give him a follow on Twitter and check out his YouTube channel. I'll leave a link for both of them in the description below. Be sure to also follow me on Twitter @LegendXRonin to keep up with what I'm doing on my channel. If you're new to my channel, please be sure to check out my other videos and hit that subscribe button for all things Mortal Kombat. This is LegendXRonin, and I'll see you guys later. Check out this tweet we got from Ed Boon earlier today. It says, "Really looking forward to attending the Games Awards on Thursday with the exclusive reveal of who's next in Mortal Kombat X. So we finally are going to see who will be in the Kombat Pack 2 this